One of the most underlying themes of the philosophy of Alan Watts is that this life is all a game and not to take it too seriously. What does he mean by that though? Well, to jump right into the deep end, Alan believes the universe is akin to a divine conscious being. He believes that we as individuals are all like vessels or sensory receptors that allow it to experience itself. If you think about every conscious being alive, each one has a unique experience, story, struggle, pleasures, and each one comes with its own lessons and perspectives on the world. Now, when you tell that to people, they say, well, why would God want to experience pain or misfortune? And to that I'd say, and I believe he'd agree with me here, you are thinking of this from a very shallow perspective. Pain and tragic circumstances may feel bad for us as individuals, but they are also some of the most valuable, potent teachers that life has to offer. What you learn about life through a painful upbringing, for example, is depths deeper than someone with a privileged upbringing. Struggle comes with its own set of benefits. By thinking it is so unfair that someone innocent has to suffer, you are acting as if life is some perfect fairy tale, when in fact, in real life, the dark stuff exists. If it wasn't for the dark stuff, there would be no light. It's just as important to struggle, feel pain, as it is to feel joy and to feel free. It's what makes up a complete life experience. Just wait a little longer and I'll play an excerpt from Alan Watts where he takes you through a thought experiment that helps you understand this concept. But just to add a bit more context first, what Alan talks about has been talked about by ancient philosophers and religions forever, but today we can even look at this concept through the eyes of quantum physics. In modern science, quantum physicists believe there are a set of dimensions this universe is held together in. That's what string theory, as well as many other leading theories, depict. Well, what happens when you zoom out and put all the dimensions together? What are we if we look at everything we know of as one thing? When you zoom out far enough, everything seems to be one thing, spread out, experiencing itself through varying layers of complexity. Looking at life this way may seem overwhelming at first, however, in my opinion, it makes it so that everybody, no matter how successful on the outside, has a valuable perspective that is no better or worse than the next person's. All of our perspectives matter, all of our lives matter, even if we find ourselves poor or unhealthy or in any one undesirable situation. Every single one of our experiences matter. Now, let me let Alan Watts himself take you through a thought experiment.
Suppose you are God. You have all time, all eternity, and all power at your disposal. What would you do? I believe you would say to yourself after a while, man, get lost. It's like asking another question, which is, supposing you were given the power to dream any dream you wanted to dream every night. Naturally, you could dream any span of time. You could dream 75 years of time in one night, 100 years of time in one night, 1,000 years of time in one night. And it could be anything you wanted. You make up your mind before you went to sleep, tonight I'm going to dream of so-and-so. Well, naturally, you would start out by fulfilling all your wishes. You would have all the pleasures you could imagine, the most marvelous meals, the most entrancing love affairs, the most romantic journeys. You could listen to music such as no mortal has heard and see landscapes beyond our wildest dreams. And for several nights, maybe for a whole month of nights, you would go on that way, having a wonderful time. But then after a while, you'd begin to think, well, I've seen quite a bit. Let's spice it up. Let's have a little adventure. And therefore, you would dream of yourself being threatened by all sorts of dangers. You would rescue princesses from dragons. You would perhaps engage in notable battles. You would be a hero. And then, as time went on, you would dare yourself to do more and more outrageous things. And at some point in the game, you would say, tonight, I am going to dream in such a way that I don't know that I'm dreaming. So that you would take the experience of the dream for complete reality. what a shock when you woke up. And you'd really scare yourself. And then, on successive nights, you might dare yourself to experience the most extraordinary things just for the contrast when you woke up. You could, for example, dream yourself in situations of extreme poverty, disease, agony. You could, as it were, work on the vibration of suffering to its most intense point, and then suddenly, whoop, wake up and find it was after all nothing but a dream and everything perfectly okay. And you would say, wow, man, that was a gas. Well, how do you know that that's not what you're doing already? You, sitting there with all your problems, with all your whole complicated life situation, listening to me, it may just be the very dream you decided to get into. If you like it, crazy. If you don't like it, what fun it'll be when you wake up.